Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Course code Eng455, lecture number 17. As you can see, we are going to start with semantics again. Semantics that we started in our previous lecture. Let's see what we have done so far. So far, in our previous lecture on semantics, we studied what semantics is. To give you a summary of that, we studied that what semantics is. Semantics is actually the study of meanings, because meanings are the most important component in language. If you know the morphology, you know the syntax, you know the phonology, but you don't know the meanings inside a language, you cannot understand that language. To understand a language, you need to know the meanings along with the other things. It is fifth level of language according to the compositionality factor, starting from phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, and then we move towards the semantics. Semantics, it is not very old branch of linguistics. This actually field of knowledge in linguistics was introduced around in 1817 and 1880 with some essays, when some linguists they published their articles on the study of meanings, and later on the term semantics was coined to refer to this phenomena of meanings. This way, later on, with new developments and additions, semantics became an existing an independent field of study inside the linguistics. Later on, we talked about why these meanings they are important. As we know, to understand a language, what is more important are the meanings. If we know a language but we do not know about the meanings, we cannot get a proper understanding of that language. And again, for example, if you know what a sentence is, you know how to construct a good grammatical structure of a sentence in any language, but you do not know the meanings of the words you are going to use inside that sentence, or the meaning you want to convey with the help of a properly structured sentence. It means both type of information, they are important, they are essential to each other to get meanings. Then we discuss two important theories which talk about the association or a link of meanings with the actual objects, ideas or happenings. We studied a referential theory which talks about the meanings of a word in association with the things existing in reality, and with a reference to representation theory which talks about the meanings of words, ideas and happenings in relation to certain mental representations. We get the meanings because we can have the mental pictures associated to them in our mind. So this way we get the meaning. Then we talked about the types of meanings that there are different types of meanings, but basically there are three major categories. That was of connotative meanings, associative meanings and thematic meanings. Connotative meanings with respect to dictionary meanings, associative meanings that are associated with the conceptual meanings or connotative meanings, and thematic meanings which helps us to convey our theme or message by using certain words or structures. So this way meanings are conveyed in different ways. But then we started an important area where we could divide meanings at two levels: meanings with respect to words and meanings with respect to larger units than words, which are phrases and sentences. So with respect to words, we know that it is called lexical semantics, and with respect to sentences and phrases, it is known as the sentential semantics. In our previous lecture, we discussed in detail about sentential semantics, how the meanings are composed for phrases or sentences, and with respect to that, we talked about different methods of calculating meaning. Like we had compositional semantics, which composes the meanings of sentences by getting the meanings of the individual words composing the sentence. But then we talked about entailment, tautology, metaphorical meanings, idiomatic meanings, and anomalous meaning, different types of sentences which give different types of meaning. Sometimes the meanings, they are calculated directly from the words composing that sentences, and sometimes they are inferred meaning. So this way, for sentences, we have different ways to calculate the meanings of sentences. That was all about sentential semantics. But our today's lecture is based primarily on lexical semantics. Today we are going to talk about what a lexical semantics is, what do we mean, how we calculate the meanings of words, how we know that the words, they have these meanings. And with respect to that, we will talk about different lexical semantics analysis procedures by which we calculate the meanings of the words, and at the same time we will talk about the different categories according to which we have meanings for the words. We have actually a long list of varieties or categories where we link meanings with certain words. That these all things about the lexemes or lexical items that are words would be discussed today in detail. Let's start with what lexical semantics is. Lexical semantics is actually the scientific study of the meanings of words and the systematic meaning. What does this word systematic meaning? That related connections between words. There are words, we have individually meanings for those words, but sometimes words, they have meanings in a relation with other words. So in these all types of meanings, whether individual meanings of words or whether related meanings of words that we call systematic meanings, this all type of study falls in the category of lexical semantics. Another definition of lexical semantics is the branch of linguistics dealing with the meanings of words. And words and I would like to add over here morphemes as well. That words and morphemes, the way the branch of linguistics which deals with the meanings aspect of these things, they are known as lexical semantics. And it is totally different from sentential semantics, where we are concerned about the largest syntactic units than words. And what are those? Definitely phrases, clauses, and sentences. So phrases, clauses, sentences, their meanings fall in the category of sentential semantics, and the meanings of the words and morphemes falls in the category of lexical semantics. Now here I would like to talk what is the principal goal of lexical semantics. What are the objectives of this branch of linguistics? The principal goal of lexical semantics is to build a model for the structure of a lexicon by categorizing the types of relationships between words. Yes, the most important objective of lexical semantics is not to just to get the meanings of the words or to study the meanings of word, but rather on the basis of these meanings associated with words, they categorize words, they label words, they put words into different categories. And this categorization of words into different categories is actually the basic purpose or the principal goal of lexical semantics. So what is the objective of lexical semantics? Yes, we can say that definitely lexical semantics is about the study of meanings, but more principal goal is to establish or to divide or to categorize these words into different classes according to the nature of their meanings and sometimes according to the nature of their structural meanings or the way they have meanings in association with other words. So this way we can have classes of, for example, like synonyms, antonyms. You talk about them. These are two classes. But how we have categorized them, or homonyms and homophones, or homonyms or homophones, and polysemy and metronymy. There are so many classes of the words, and how these words, the lexical semantics, it has established. Definitely, lexical semantics, it has established these classes on the basis of certain characteristics of the meanings of these words, the way they have categorized these words. So this was the principal goal of lexical semantics. Now another important terminology that is used in semantics, we will discuss about it: semantic field. What does we mean by the word semantic field? Is that a field where semantic grows? No, definitely no. Actually, the semantic field refers to the set of words with an identifiable semantic affinity. Again, the words, because the principal goal of lexical semantics is to categorize the words. And to categorize the words, we know we have to divide words into different semantic fields. And semantic field is that particular identifiable semantic affinity, which tells us, okay, this word belongs to this semantic field, and this word belongs to this semantic field. So we can categorize the words. We can categorize on the basis of certain identifiable meanings. We divide them into different classes. For example, if you look at these two classes, number 1 and number 2, these are two classes of words where they have been divided into two classes on the basis of certain identifiable affinity. We will see what is that. But before that, I should tell you that the words in the list number 1, they are all describing the emotional states. And the words in list number 2, they are all the words referring to vessels. So vessels is one semantic field, and emotional words, this is another semantic field. So semantic field, but how we get this semantic affinity? Now look at the list number 1: angry, sad, exuberant, depressed, afraid. If you look at the nature of all of these words, if you look at the meanings of all these words, they describe certain types of feelings or emotions. Like if I am angry, it means I am in anxious state and I am not talking to you, and I have certain clash with you. I am angry, telling about my emotional state. Sad, not feeling fine. I'm sad because I'm gloomy, and this is again describing my emotional state. Exuberant, happy, depressed, very much sad, not feeling fine, again my emotional state. Afraid, again an emotional state where you are afraid of something. So all of them, they have an semantic affinity. Can you identify that semantic affinity? Well, what is the relationship? Yes, there is a one link between all these words, that is of emotion. These all words, they describe, they explain, or they refer to some emotional states. And these emotional states is actually the semantic affinity, or it is the semantic field on the basis of which we can categorize, we can label all these words in one category. Now look at the list of second words, the words in the second list: cup, mug, wine glass, plastic cup, goblet, tumbler. Now look at these words. What these words are? Definitely you know their meanings. What is the link between these words? What is the semantic field? Again, semantic field is semantic affinity. What is the relationship between these two words, between all these words? Yes, these all words are vessels. Now, vessels? Yes, vessels means containers. These all things, they are container of something. For example, cup is a container in which we can put a tea or coffee. A mug is a container in which we can put something. A wine glass is a container where we usually put wine. So these are all the vessels, are the containers. So what is the semantic affinity? They are all vessels. So the semantic field is of vessels. So this way, because the prime goal of the lexical semantics is to divide words into classes. And how we can divide words into classes? On the basis of semantic fields. The words, they belong to different categories according to the semantic fields they belong. So this way, semantic field is important to know, to categorize words into different classes. So after this semantic field, on the basis of semantic field, we divide classes, words into classes. Actually, what we do, we analyze words. We analyze words, we analyze their semantic affinities, we identify their semantic fields, and then we categorize them into different classes. But this semantic analysis at word level, again, because we are dealing with lexical semantics, so we are performing the semantic analysis at word level. Now, three types of semantic analysis are available at word level: semantic features, semantic rules, and lexical relationships. Semantic features, where we treat words as containers of meanings. When we take words as containers of certain connotative or denotative or thematic meaning, we categorize words according to semantic features. Or the second way is we divide words into and the basis of semantic rules, mean the rules they fulfill, the rules the words perform. Then on the basis of that, we do have semantic rules. And finally, words, they have relationship. They have relationship with other words. And on the basis of that, we have lexical relationships. Now we will discuss all these three semantic analysis levels with respect to each other in detail. We will start with words as containers of meanings. What is that? Semantic features. So semantic features, it talks about the meanings which are contained inside the words. They are somehow like the conceptual or connotative meanings. Connotative, again, containers of the meaning. For example, syntactically correct sentences, but semantically odd. If you remember, in our previous lecture on sentential semantics, we talked about anomalous sentences. Anomalous sentences are those which are syntactically correct but semantically wrong, not conveying any meaning. So here are certain examples, like hamburger ate the man, my cat studies linguistics, the table listens to the radio. Now look at all these sentences, perfectly patterned with respect to grammatical aspects. But what about their meaning? How do we know that the first sentence is wrong? The hamburger ate the man. What is the thing that is wrong with it? A hamburger is an inanimate thing. It cannot eat. It cannot perform an action like eat. So this way we have, because with the word hamburger we have a meaning. We know that the semantic feature of the word hamburger is it is inanimate, and an inanimate thing cannot perform an action like eat. So on the basis of that meaning associated with the word hamburger, I would say that this sentence is wrong. Look at the second example. My cat studies linguistics. Now study is something that can be performed by an animate object, and I know cat is an animate object, living thing. But again, my semantic knowledge tells me that the studies is something, a phenomena, an action performed by only and only human beings, not the animals. So again, the semantic knowledge about the word cat tells me that this sentence is wrong. Then look at the third example. The table listens to the radio. Possible? No. Why? The table is inanimate. It's not a living thing. And listening is an activity which is done usually by the living things, the animate objects. So my semantic knowledge about the word table tells me that this is a wrong sentence. So this way, if you look at these three words, hamburger, cat and table, they all contain certain meanings. They are containers of meaning. They have their meanings with them. And such meanings which are contained inside the words are known as semantic features of that words. Now these semantic features, they are actually based on the semantic properties. Now semantic properties are actually the components of meanings in a word, that inside a word we have not, and keep in mind that we do not have a single meaning within a word. It happens that within a word we have multiple meanings. A single word, it has a lot of semantic features, and that meanings as collection of properties or features, typically with two possible values plus minus. With respect to linguistics, if you are performing a linguistic semantic analysis, you will show these semantic features with the signs of plus minus. And for example, in compositional analysis, we can say baby. Baby is plus young, definitely baby is a young child, plus human because it's a human baby, plus animate because it's a living thing. So this way we show semantic features of the word baby, because with the word baby we have all these semantic properties, we have all these meanings which are contained inside the word baby. Let's see more examples. Now look at this table. This table tells you, explains you the semantic features of certain words. Like look at the first word, that is table. Now table, if I put over here certain semantic features like animate, it is human, it is a female, it is adult. There are lot of classes. Definitely there can be the category of animate, there can be category of inanimate, female, male, young, old, so many categories, so many semantic features you can take, you can associate with the word. But for example, to make that table, I have only selected these four qualities, and on the other hand I have selected certain words like table, horse, boy, man, girl, woman. And now I am performing this semantic analysis. Table, is that an animate object? No, minus. Is that a human? No, minus. Is that an adult? No, minus. Now look at the semantic features of the word horse. Is that animate? Yes, animate, living. Is that a human? No. Is that a female? No. Is that adult? Yes, you know the little horses, they are usually known as ponies or something else. But the horse is an adult horse, adult male horse. So this way we have the semantic features with respect to word horse. Now look at the semantic features of the word boy. Animate, yes, animate, living. Human, yes, plus. Female, minus. Boy is not a female. If I have a quality over here male, then yes, it could be a plus, but over here the quality I've chosen is female, so it is a negative. Adult, yes, the boy is not an adult, it is before the adulthood stage, so this is a negative. Then I have the word man. Animate plus, human plus, female minus, because male, man is belongs to male semantic feature. Adult plus, girl, animate plus, human plus, female plus, adult, no, because a girl is not adult, it is a stage before the adulthood. again. And finally we have for example a word woman. Woman, animate plus human plus female plus adult plus. So female, woman, it has all plus. So this way, these are the features of the semantic qualities, properties which are associated with the word woman. Like if I want to define a woman, what I would say, a woman is animate, human, female and an adult. A man is an animate, human, male, adult. So this way we have the meanings contained inside these words, and such meanings which are contained inside these words are known as semantic features. After the semantic features, the next is semantic rules. Semantic rules, the rules performed by words, the rules fulfilled by the words. According to that rules, we have semantic rules for words. For example, the words, they are described according to the rules they fulfill with the situation described in a sentence. Now look at the example. How? The boy kicked the ball. Now I have the verb that is indicate, the verb is kicked, and verb kick is an action word, because I know what is the meaning of this word kick. When you hit something, and it means it involves the body action, it involves a physical action. So the verb is a action word. So according to that, if the verb is an action, it means the person who is performing that action is the agent, doer of the action. So who is the doer of action? The boy. The boy, he performed the action, he is the doer of the action, so he acquires the semantic role of agent. In semantics, the things who perform certain physical actions are labeled under the category semantic role of agent. Now this action was performed on something. Object, what is the object? The ball. The ball undergoes an action, so the ball is a theme. A semantic role that is fulfilled by the ball over here is a theme. So this way, semantic roles, they refer to the categories under which we label words according to the roles they perform. Now for example, the noun phrase describe the role of entities. Like at noun phrase, at subject level, we can have people or things, and then they involve into certain actions. They have certain semantic roles. And semantic rules are usually they are based on the roles performed by the words within the structure of sentences. Now these are some of the important categories, some of the important semantic roles which are used to label words and accord for the semantic analysis procedure. The first category is of agent. Agent is the entity that performs the action. For example, the peon opened the gate. Now who performed the action? The peon. So the peon would be agent of action. Theme, the entity that undergoes the action. The peon opened the gate. So what was the thing that was opened? The peon performed an action of opening on what? The door. So the door is the theme. Then experiencer. Experiencer, one who perceives something, one who experiences something. And usually the difference between the agent and experiencer is that in agent we have physical activities, as experiencer we have mental activities. For example, I realized the dream. The Quaid-e-Azam realized the dream of Pakistan. Now realized is not the actual physical activity, but the word realized is actually the mental activity. I smelt the flowers. Now smelt is not a physical activity, rather it is a mental activity. I smelt it with the help of certain senses. So such experiencer, such person at the subject role or object role which undergoes an experience are known as experiencer. Then we have instrument. The peon opened the gate with a key. Now the peon, agent, the gate, theme, but what was the thing that he used to open the gate? What was the instrument? The key. So what is an instrument? Instrument is an entity used to perform an action. So what was the thing that is used to open the gate? The key. So the key is the instrument. And then location. Location is the place where the action happens. I played in the cricket ground. Now I play hockey in nearby garden. So the location, the place where something happens, where something is done, where something undergoes a change, anything that describes the spatial place is known as the location, according to the semantic role. Source. Source is the place from which an action originates, from which an action starts. So this is the starting point, and goal is just opposite of it. It is the ending point where an action ends, where an action is directed towards. So this way, on the basis of the actions the performed by words within the sentences, we can label them in different semantic rules. And these semantic rules, they are not only important with respect to semantic analysis of words, but also with respect to semantic analysis of sentences, because usually the semantic rules of these words, they are identified within the structure of sentences. Now I have highlighted some examples of semantic rules, like John is writing with a pen. Now writing is a physical activity. So if it is a physical activity, a doing action, so John would be an agent with a pen. Now with a pen is not a thing on which an action is performed, rather it is an instrument to use to perform the action. So pen is instrument. Mary saw a mosquito on the wall. Mary now saw, again what it is involving? Senses. So something that involves senses is comes under the category of experience. So experiencer, because Mary is the one who is experiencing something. So Mary is the experiencer. What she has seen, a mosquito. So mosquito is the object, that is theme. And on the wall is the location where she has observed a mosquito, where she has seen a mosquito. So that on the wall is the location. That is the semantic role. Then look at another example. The children ran from the playground to the pool. Now ran is a physical action. So the children would be agent. From the playground to the pool. Now from what place the action started? What was the source point of the action? The playground. So the playground would not be a location, it would be a source from which the action originated. To the pool. Now to the pool is again not the location, because it is the place where the action is directed towards. So it is goal. So this way, within sentences, we can identify the semantic roles performed by the words, and this is known as lexical semantic analysis, with relation to definitely sentences, because within semantic roles, once again, they are only and only identified within sentences. Now we will talk about the third level of meanings, that is lexical relationships, the categorization of words into different categories according to the relationship they have with other words. That's why this category is known as lexical relationships. For example, if I ask you, what is a big? So what would be your answer? A big is something which is not small. So your answer is because with word big we do not have actually the exact meaning, so we will try to associate, to try to take its meaning out of its relationship with the word small. Something that is not small is a big thing. So now the small and big, these two words, they have a relationship. So this relationship defines the meanings of the words. So the meanings which are based on the relationships falls in the category of lexical relationships. For example, if I ask you what is dark, so you will say where there is no light. So again, the word dark, it has association with the word light. The absence of light means dark. The absence of dark means light. The two words, they have a relationship. So this way we are getting the meanings of words according to their relationship with other words. Now, what is a daffodil? A daffodil is a flower. Now again, the meaning of word daffodil is associated with the category flower, because this daffodil, it belongs to a class of words that is flower. So this way, sometimes rather most of the time, I assume we get the meanings of words according to their relationship with other words. An analysis in such terms is known as lexical relationship meanings, and such relationship explain the meanings in term of relationship with other words. I have a lot of examples for this, like synonyms, antonyms, hyponymy, prototype, homophones, homonyms, polysemy, metronymy, and retronymy. I will give you a lot of examples related to these. These all words in these groups, in these classes, they have meaning when according to their relationship with other words. So we will start with the most simplest, that is synonymy. What is a synonymy? Synonymy or synonyms are the words that have the same meaning or that are closely related in meanings. For example, the word sad, I can replace the word sad with gloomy. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling gloomy. The same meanings, because they have the same link, because they have the relationship of meaning, because they both express the same emotional state. So these words, they are synonyms. Similarly, in Urdu we call them mutradif, like दिन का मुतरादिफ होगा रोशनी और मतलब something that is daytime. So this way we have meanings of the words, exact meanings of word or closely related meanings of word, and the words, two words having closely related meanings or exact same meanings are known as synonym. For example, I answered him correctly. In the same sentence, I can replace the word answered with the word replied. I replied him correctly. What is the difference? No difference at all, because I know that answer and reply, they are synonyms. They have same meanings. Then take another example. Buy or purchase. She went to buy clothes. She went to purchase clothes. Again, this word buy and purchase, they are quite closely related in meaning. So they are synonyms. Freedom, liberty. I want freedom. I want liberty. Again, same meanings. So if the meaning does not change at all by replacing one word from the other word, this is usually the test. To know that this is a synonym, usually we perform a test that we inside our sentence we replace one word with another word, and if the meaning of that sentence does not change, so that word is the synonym of that word. Now, for example, but one thing over here that I would like to make it clear, that sameness, if I'm saying the two words with same meaning, that sameness does not mean the total sameness. Mean the words, they do not have exactly the same meanings. They have sometimes they can have exactly the same meaning, but usually they have meanings close to each other. For example, look at this example. Sandy only had one answer correct to the test. Now I know that answer has a synonym reply. Like I gave you example, I answered him correctly, I replied him correctly. But in this context of sentence, Sandy only had one answer correct on the test. If I cannot replace it, Sandy only had one reply correct on the test. Why? Though we know, because the answer, it has a synonym reply. But reply is not exactly has the same meaning as the word answer has. So this is why they have the same meanings, but that sameness is not the totality. They have somehow related meanings, somehow different meanings. So synonyms, they differ. They differ in formality. They differ in various ways, but one way to differ is that of formality. For example, buy and purchase, automobile and car. If I am using the word buy, I can use it in informal situations, but the word purchase is used in more formal situations. Similarly, automobile is a more formal word, and car is a informal word. So according to the formality level, we use the synonyms words. We use the words which are same in meanings. Then we have synonyms. We have more examples like gloomy, sorrowful, rueful. Now all these words have same meanings: happy, glad, cheer. I'm happy, I'm glad. Intelligent, astute, scintillating. These words, they have the synonymous meaning, so they are fall in the category of synonyms. But I would like to make one thing over clear, that true synonyms, again, what are true synonyms? The words perfectly having the same meanings, they are called as true synonyms, and there are rarely true synonyms. Usually we have synonyms which are closely related to each other, and they differ in one or various ways. For example, sometimes the synonyms, they differ in origin. Sometimes they differ in the shades of meaning. Again, the usage of word answer and reply. Sometimes they differ in socio-expressive meanings, the meanings related to society. Sometimes they differ in stylistic meaning, and sometimes they differ in collocational and distribution meaning. So synonyms, the true synonyms are rare. There are certain words, they are synonyms to each other, but again, not the total same, but related sameness, and again they differ in various ways. The opposite of synonym is antonym. So antonym, where the synonym is the relationship between words on the sameness, antonym is the relationship of oppositeness. The way the synonyms are the opposite of antonyms. So the same way, the antonyms, they are the list of the words which are opposite to each other. And why they are opposite? Because they have the opposite meaning. I am happy, I am sad. Totally two different meanings. So happiness is another state, emotional state, where you are happy, you are glad, you are cheerful. But sad is another state where you are gloomy, you are not feeling fine. So they are the two opposite emotional states. So this way they are the antonyms of each other. So when two or more lexemes or expressions are opposite in meaning, they are said to be antonyms. According to semantic relationship, antonyms can be loosely divided into three categories. Complementary antonyms, just like the synonyms, there are rare true synonyms, but usually the synonyms are just related in relationship meanings. But similarly, with respect to synonyms, we have three categories. We have complementary antonyms, we have gradable antonyms, and we have relational opposites. So what are these? Complementary antonyms. The complementary antonyms which complement each other. Dead. Something is dead when it is not alive. And when something is alive, it's not dead. Single, married. If you are single, it means you are not married. And if you are married, it means you are not single. So the both meanings, they are complementing each other. So they are known as complementary antonyms. Male, female. If you are male, it means you are not female. If you are female, you are not a male. So they are complementing each other. So such antonyms, they are known as complementary antonyms. Then we have gradable antonyms. Gradable antonyms are those which can be graded. For example, hot and cold. Now we can insert adjectives. Now inside the hot and cold mean if dead alive are two extreme conditions. Between death and between alive there is no condition in between. A person cannot be in a state where he is dead and he is alive at the same time. So they are complementary. But on the other hand, gradable antonyms, we can grade them. From one extreme to other extreme position there are different grades inside them. For example, two extremes are hot and cold. But inside them, between we can have a word warm, and then we can have a word cool. Warm is a less state than hot, but again opposite to cold. Cool is a lesser state of cold, but again the opposite of hot. So they are the gradable antonyms because they can be graded. And then we have relational opposites, where the opposites are according to relationships. And they are like, if I'm your teacher, you are my student. So you are the relational opposite. If I am a wife, I have a husband. So my husband and wife, they are the relational opposites. Father, son. So father, son, mother, daughter. These words, they are known as relational opposites. Then after the synonymy and antonymy, we have another important feature, that is hyponymy. Hyponymy are words whose meanings are specific instances of a more general word. For example, one thing is included in another thing. If I say cats and dogs are hyponyms of the word animal. Now the basic category is animal, and inside that cats and dogs, they are hyponymy because they belong to the class of animals. If I say daffodils, rose, tuberoses, so they all belong to one category, that is flower. So flower is the class, and these daffodils, hyponymy, and these words, they belong to one class, so they are the hyponymy to each other. For example, I can give you more example like butterfly and mosquito and fly. Now what are all these? Insects. So insects is a class, and these things, they belong to one class. So what is the relationship between these words? They are hyponyms. So this is what is meant by hyponyms. Now to show it hyponymy in more clear relationship, look at this chart. Living thing, we can divide living thing. For example, we have creature and we can have plants. In creatures we can have animals, we can have insects. These are few classes I'm mentioning. There can be more than that. Then in animal we can have dog as one class, because yes, dogs belong to class of animals, but inside dogs we can have variety of dogs. Like we have poodle, we can have bulldogs, we can have Russian dogs. So similarly snake, inside the snake class we have another type of snake known as asp. We have a type of snakes like cobras. We have types of snake like rattling snakes. So the words that belong to one class, they have a relationship of hyponymy with each other. Now hyponymy is a term which is exactly the opposite of term meronymy. What is meronymy? Meronymy is term used to describe a part-whole relationship. Again, hyponymy, whole part relationship. Meronymy, part whole relationship. Okay, they just opposite of each other. In hyponymy, whole comes first and we have different parts. And in meronymy, the parts are there and they belong to one class, one group. So this phenomenon of meronymy is just opposite of hyponymy. For example, if I say the animals is one class and dogs and cats belong to that class, so dogs and cats, they are hyponymy. So the class animals is meronymy because it is a whole and it is comprising of parts. So this is the relationship between hyponymy and meronymy. Now, for example, the same dog and cat that they belong, they are hyponymy to each other, but what is their whole? That is animals. So animals is a meronymy term. Then we have prototypes, like look at these examples: canary, dove, duck, flamingo, parrot, robin, bird. Do they all belong to one class of bird? Yes, the best example that we can have out of these is that robin. But what about ostrich and penguin? Can we put the ostrich and penguin into bird class? Because they fall in category in between. Ostrich and bird, they have wings, but they cannot fly. So what about these words? Such words, they are known as prototypes because they have the characteristics in stance. For example, they are not exactly same, but they have certain characteristics. Like, for example, I say I have a class furniture. Now in that furniture class, I can have a bed, I can have a dressing table, I can have a sofa, I can have a table, I can have a chair. But do all these things resemble? No. Table is something else, chair is something else. But one thing is there, they are all made up of wood. They are items in furniture. So such distinctions, they are known as the prototypes. Next we have homonymy. Homonymy is a word which has two or more entirely distinct meanings. I went to a bank today. Which bank? The bank of the river, or the bank to deposit my money? Mean my statement is not making clear. What does this word bank mean? So the word bank is same word, the same word but having two entirely different meanings. For example, bat. I saw a bat in the market. Now which one bat? Bat, a flying insect, or the bat that we used to play? So which one bat? Again, homonymy, because one word with two different meanings. We have a lot of words in this regard in homonymy that they have one shape, one sound, but different meanings. Like race. Now race is a speed context, or it is an ethnic group, like Asian race, Chinese race, Mongolian race, white race, black race. They are ethnic groups. But on the other side, we have I participated in the race, car race, or the jeep race, or the cycle race. So two different, one word but two different meanings, and entirely different meanings rather. Then we have homophony. Homo, same, phony, sound. The words which have same sound. Different means sometimes different spellings, but different meanings but same sounds. Like two, TO2 and TOO2, same sounds but two different words. Floor, FLOUR or FLOWER, flour. Like meat, 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 and MEET, meat. Right. Week, a week has 7 days, so that week is WEEK, week. I am weak. Now this week is WEAK, week, showing my physical strength. So these words are known as homophones. Then we have the idea of polysemy, the word which has multiple meanings. The word poly stands for multiple. So polysemy, the words have multiple meanings, but again polysemy is not homonymy. In homonymy, we have one word with multiple meanings but totally different meaning. In polysemy, we have one word with different meanings but they are related. They have extension. For example, head. Now head of the body, or head of the institute, or head of my school, or head of a university, head of a department. But again, there is some relationship between these words. The head is the top part of the body, and similarly the head of an organization is the top level organization. So this way their meanings, they have certain links. Similarly, foot. Now foot is the lowest part of the body, and foot of the mountain is again the lowest part of the mountain. So, or a chair, foot of a chair is again the lowest part. So they have certain relationship of meaning. So polysemy is a word which has multiple meanings, but these meanings, they are related by extensions. Then I have the word lexical semantics with relation to metonymy. Metonymy is a figure of speech in which an attribute or commonly associated feature is used to name or designate something. For example, mean again it is something like part whole, but they show the part shows a whole, or a whole shows a part. For example, he drank the whole bottle. Now, whole bottle, whole and bottle. Again, whole bottle is the container and content. Whole bottle does not mean he drank the actual bottle. Actually, the whole bottle means what was inside that bottle. So the bottle is actually the metonymy for the container, the liquid inside it. For example, if there is a Pepsi, so that Pepsi, that is contained. If I drank the whole bottle, it doesn't mean I drank the actual bottle, rather what was inside the bottle. Then the Pakistani team lost. Now, Pakistani team lost does not mean that the whole Pakistan was the part of the team and they were playing. Pakistani team lost mean the members of 12 members who, the team of 12 members who belong to Pakistan. So they representing, this part is representing the whole Pakistan country. I gave her a hand. Now hand, I gave her a hand, a helping hand. So again mean representing a part of my body. So this is why metonymy, they have a part-whole relationship, and a part stands for something that represents a whole, or a whole stands for something that represents a part. Next in lexical semantics we have collocation. What is meant by collocation? Words that tend to occur with other words. These words they tend to occur with each other. For example, table chair. We usually use a combination of table chair, butter and bread, salt and pepper, hammer and nail, male and female, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, men and women. So these words, they are known as collocation, because usually these combination of words, they stand together. So such lexical relationships are known as collocational relationships. Then we have retronyms. Retronyms is a quite new term. It is actually created from an already existing word in order to distinguish the original referent of the existing word from a later one, that is the product or progress or technological development. What has happened, that some word was existing, but with that word we added another word. And why it happened, that because of some technological development or some product of progress has been made. So we had a word and we added another word and we made a new word, and such combination is known as a retronym. For example, film camera. Now we know the camera, what camera is, but the one camera that is used to make films is known as film camera. Or like we can have words like silent movie. Now movie is a word there, but silent movie is a latest type of a movie where there are no dialogues, where nobody speaking. So silent movie is a latest technological term. It is a retronym. Another example can be First World War. Now war, I know what is war, what is world, but First World War is referring to a particular phenomena that happened in reality. So this First World War, we do not say, we to denote that First World War, we always use this word First World War. And the very common example that I would love to give you, 9/11 event. Now with that 9/11, we have a number of meaning. We know what 9/11 event is. Yes, the day when America was under terrorist attacks. That 9/11 event. So that with 9/11, it is now an established word which is used in essays and research articles and papers. We call that day with the terms 9/11. So this is a retronym. So a retronym they on the basis of certain things, on the basis of certain importance factors, or on the basis of certain events or some technological developments, we develop some combination of words which are known as retronyms. But at the same time, retronyms do not apply to the individual words, but rather to the group of words. It is the way the words are grouped. Like First World War, the whole is one word, because with one this I will treat it as one thing. I will get the meaning with this. 9/11, I will get meaning with the whole 9/11 word. So this way, retronyms, they are mean quite the recent addition in lexical semantics. So finally, I would like to conclude this lexical semantics is that it is primarily concerned with discovering relationships in the lexicon of languages. Lexicon, words. The different facets of relationships are the basic tools of lexical semantics, forming its fundamental crux. One type of meaning cannot be characterized in terms of another type. Every lexical item conveying a specific meaning is thus unique in itself. We have meanings because we have words, and with respect to words, we have meaning. So today our focus was on lexical semantics. Lexical semantics is all about the meanings of word. And what we have done today, we started with introduction of lexical semantics. Then we introduced 3 ways to get the meanings of the words. We studied semantic features, semantic rules, and lexical relationships. Semantic features, where the words, they contain certain meanings inside them. For example, a boy, it is a human, he's human, he is young, he is a male. So these meanings, they are contained inside the word boy. So such features, they are known as semantic features of words. Then we have another category that was of semantic rules, the way we give meanings to words according to their roles inside the sentences. For example, I watched television. Now I is the one who performed an action of watching. So I is the agent. The semantic role is of agent. So semantic roles are actually the roles fulfilled by words within the structure of sentences. And finally, the most important, lexical relationships. The words, they have meanings in a relationship through other words. They get their meanings. Their meanings are derived on the basis of their relationships with the other words. And in this regard, we studied like synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms, the words, they are close in their meaning. Antonyms, the words which are totally different, opposite in meanings. Then we have homonyms, the words, one word but different meanings, like bank, like race. Then homophones, one word with two sound, with same sound but two different meanings, two different words. Then and in that regard, we have homographs as well, where even the word is same, mean apparently the word is same, but the meaning and sound is totally different. Like example of DESSERT, that is desert and that is desert. The desert is a place with sand and all that, dry area, and dessert is a sweet dish. So further we studied metonymy, hyponymy, retronymy. I mean, so many relationships of words where we derive the meanings of words from their relationship with other words. Hope this knowledge would help you a lot with respect to your knowledge about how we derive meanings of words, how we get meanings of the words. To conclude, meanings are very important. To understand a language, to understand situations, to understand context, we need meanings, not only the meanings of the words, but also the sentences. So semantics is all about the study of meanings at a sentence level and at lexical level. So that was all about semantics. Inshallah, we will see each other in next lecture. Till then, Allah Hafiz.